Hi everyone, how are we all doing? Let me put the comments up. Um, it is lovely to be here. I'm just finding the page in my diary because for a change I've actually made some notes and I'm kind of a half prepared. Hey Nancy, how are you? I've got this great wee diary. I think this was a birthday present from Malamere, so it was. But it's brilliant. I think I've showed it before. Um, it's got like lovely kind of uh, it's not rose petal, but it's like going that way, the cover, and then like beautiful gold gilded edges, and yeah, the the pages are quite good. Anyway, I wasn't even going to talk about that. It was just because I happened to be holding it. I felt the need to explain what I was doing. Um, so it's nice to see you. I'm sorry I wasn't live last week. Um, I I just felt as though I needed an early night last Thursday, and I ended up being really quite not well on Saturday. Um, like I was in my bed all day, or for most of the day. I was out in the morning. Uh, every Saturday morning, I go to Slimming World. Class is at 7:30, so I'm out early. And as soon as we came home, and as soon as I got home in the car, when I was getting out the car, I was like, I feel really dizzy. I actually had to say to Sandy, like, going to walk beside me because just so that you're there in case I need to grab you or something. So anyway, yeah, I got into the house and went to my bed, and the room was just spinning. And anytime I moved my head, like even just to do that on the pillow, the room would start spinning like mad. So it was horrible, horrible, horrible. Um, so I had to put up with that for like what, like the better part of a day. So Malamere, Malamere's one of my good friends now. We all know and love Malamere. Malamere has been going through that for like over a year now, I'm sure. Um, for a long, long time anyway, a lot longer than anyone should have to deal with something like that. Um, so I can only imagine. Um, But yeah, anyway, so that was my Saturday. So I probably did need that early night on Thursday, otherwise I might have struggled on Friday. um, but it's lovely to be here now. It's nice to see you all. Let's see. So I said hi to Nancy. Lottie B is here. Hi Lottie, how are you? That's a lovely profile picture you've got. Um, let's see, Golden is here. Hi Golden. Saskia is here. And Karen's here. Jumping Spider 66. Hey, how are you? It's John, isn't it? Remembered your name right. Greg's here. Hi, Greg. How are you? Karen says, I didn't feel well this past weekend either. Hope you're feeling better now. That sounds awful. Yeah, I'm a lot better. I'm like absolutely fine now. I got better on the Saturday evening, so that I was able to get up and out of my bed and come downstairs and sit. Um, Sunday, pretty much back to normal. And then I've worked all week, so I've been fine this week. But it was just on Saturday, which is annoying. It's always when you're off work, isn't it? Um, Debbie from Aquarius Hills here. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, it's John. Oops, chat just jumped there just as I did that. Richard Boo is here. Hi, Richard. How are you? It's lovely to see you here. Um, there's a couple of channels that I want to shout out tonight. Um, Okay, so the first one is not actually a tarot channel. I'm going to say that right now. Um, So I don't know if I've spoke on this about the trading card game that my husband plays called Lorcana. It is a Disney trading card game, and it's actually quite fun to play. I played it a wee bit when it first came out last year. Um, the cards are really cool. It's well thought through, and the artwork is really good as well on the cards. I should try and actually do some divination with some Lorcana cards. Actually, now I think about it, they probably lend themselves quite nicely to it because I don't know if any of you in the chat have seen Lorcana. If you have, then give me a shout. But they're split into like six different like colors. You get red, green, blue, amber, purple, and steel. And each color kind of has its own. It's not quite. It's not easy to say like, oh, this color means that and that color means that. You know, like it's a bit subtler than that. But like each color, I think has its thing that it's good for, and it's kind of a weak points and stuff. So yeah, I would imagine that it would be quite good for slinging cards with. I'll need to give that a try sometime. Although whenever so Sandy plays that on a Saturday, and I normally I drive him into town and I'll go and I'll sit in the wee shop with him that he plays in, and I'll sometimes because like card slinger, I love to shuffle cards, so I'll say to him like, "Can I sit and shuffle your cards?" And he's like, "That's fine, but don't you dare riffle shuffle them." He does not want his cards riffle shuffled at all, which is really frustrating because you know how I love a good riffle shuffle. Um, so yeah, I don't know how he would feel about me riffle shuffling. I don't think I would get away with that. Um, let's see. I saw some other people jump in. Oh yeah, so I went off on a tangent there. So that's the trading card game Lorcana. So one of Sandy's friends that he plays with has a YouTube channel, um, and it's actually really good because his name's Errol. He's a lovely, lovely guy. Such a nice guy. One of the nicest people you could ever sit down and have a conversation with. Um, he is, as I understand it, he's originally from the Philippines. He moved to LA when he was really young, and he's only recently moved to Glasgow in Scotland. So um, he has like basically guests on that he interviews, kind of a podcast type thing, but he does it on his YouTube channel. And these are like people that have been influential in the trading card game. So I'm going to pop a link in the chat to his channel. If you're interested in Disney or if you're interested in trading card games, um, or indeed if you do like Lorcana, then please check out Errol's channel. Subscribe. It'd be nice to give his subscribership a wee boost. Um, I think he's a big Twitch gamer. He's got a big, as I understand it, he's got a big following on Twitch. So his YouTube numbers aren't that high, but I think he mostly is over on Twitch. So yeah, please give him a wee subscribe. That would be nice. Um, let me see. So that was where Richard Boo came in. Dee is here. Hi Dee, how are you? The lovely Justin Michael is here. Just wanted to say hi, listening on the go. Justin's a busy guy. I'll need to drag him and get him back on the channel sometime. What do you think? I've got like a list the length of my arm of people that I need to get in touch with to collaborate with. Um, Starting with Heather because about a year and a half ago, I think it was, I said to Heather that I would go live with her, and I've just been terrible for actually getting in touch and saying, right, here's a date. Um, oh, it's totally me. uh, but anyway, yeah, it'd be nice to see Justin again and have him back on, have a catch up. Taro Nut is here. Hi there. How you doing? Magdalena, lovely to see you. Brackets M. Oh, so do you go by M as in the letter M for Magdalena? Greg says, if we're talking ailments, then pulled slash tore a calf muscle last weekend, badly bruised and got bit off a limp at the moment. Had a shingles vaccination on Tuesday and the arm is still sore. Great, oh gosh, that doesn't sound good at all, Greg. Sounds like you're falling apart. Hopefully you have a better weekend this weekend, eh? Hopefully we all do. I'm sure that's possible to use for divination. It's all about your intuition. That's wide open, and but yeah, it is totally possible because I think it. So for me, it's about how well I know the thing that I'm working with. So I can read quite well with like Pokemon cards because I'm a bit of a Pokemon nerd and I always have been. So I know Pokemon quite well. I know the characteristics of most of the Pokemon, and what they're good at, and what they're strong against and what they're weak against, and all that kind of thing. So I feel as though I can read quite well with Pokemon cards. So I'm pretty sure it would probably be the same with Lorcana because it's all Disney characters, and uh, I'm maybe not as familiar with all the Disney characters. There are a fair few that I don't really recognize when I see the cards, but um, I reckon I could put together a deck of characters that I'm really familiar with, and I'd be able to read okay with it. He says, um, rather modestly. Karen likes a good riffle shuffle too. Hi, Deanne. How are you? Um, Deanne as well. Deanne, did we pencil in a date for going live together, by the way? Because I thought we did, and then I was looking at my trusty diary, and I can't find. I thought I'd put it in here, but I can't actually find the date that we talked about. So remind me. You don't have to do it well, you can put it in the chat or just message me. But yeah, I thought we penciled in a date. Hey Donna. Hey Simon, how are you? And Kathy's here. Gosh, it's a busy crowd tonight. This is great. Um, what's Twitch? Twitch is it's kind of like a similar to this. It's a streaming platform, Simon, but it's gamers that use it a lot, is what I've found. Um, check it out. Look it up, and you'll find it, and you'll kind of get the gist for it. But I think it's just a streaming platform. Uh, that's oh right, okay. Twitter became X. No, Twitch is something different. Let's see. Ramon is here. Hi, Ramon. How are you? And let's see, what are we saying? I think Twitch is a live streaming app. Yeah. Um, Pokemon my son collects, says Karen. I can see that. What age is your son, Karen? Kim's here. Hi, Kim. How are you? Laura's here asking if I got a new camera. I got a new camera for Christmas. So I've been using this one since Christmas, but it is a lot more clear. There's no doubt about it, and it doesn't every so often it doesn't go all like white noisy. Like what the telly does, like goes all funny. Like my old camera did that sometimes. I still have it. I still use it. I carry it about in my work bag, I, so this is why I carry it about in my work bag to connect in and use when I'm on video calls when I'm in the office. Because does anyone? So who uses a laptop here? Um, the see the angle of the camera that's built into your laptop. It is unflattering as fuck. By the way, it is not flattering at all. So I do not like using the camera built into my laptop. I like to connect in the separate webcam and have it at an angle like this where you can't see all 10 of my chins. Like I can't be doing with built-in webcams, built-in laptop webcams. No, 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 thank you. So that is what my old webcam gets used for, and it works absolutely fine for that. So it does. I wonder when Kim was live, Kim, you went like your audio cut out, and you said you think it was because you cursed. I wonder if my audio is now cutting out because I just said the F word. I just said the worst word there is. Well, one of the worst words. Um, dep- so what do we all think is the worst swear? In fact, no. Do you know what? Let's not go down this route. Let's just not. Um, another time, perhaps. Let's see. Karen is saying to Deanne, I can't figure out how to use the accent mark on iPhone. Oh, right, as in the. So I think you probably the same as Android. I will try and show you. Mm, let's see. Ugh, I don't need to show you. It's easy to explain. So see if you hold in the. Is it? I take it it's for Ramon. So when I type Ramon now, it just automatically predicts what I'm going to type, but it comes up with Ramon's name, complete with the accent. But see if you hold in the O, it should come up with all of your options, and you'll be able to click on the O with the acute accent. And if that's not what you're talking about at all, then apologies, we've just learned something. um, Hi Sandra, how are you? Um, I keep thinking, oh, I'll catch up with the chat and then I'll plug this second channel, but I'm just not managing to catch up very well, am I? So the second channel that I wanted to send you a link to and to talk about is Moran's channel, Starseed Tarot. Moran has a fantastic wee channel, so he does. He's just started doing YouTube videos where you can actually see him, and he's talking to us face to face, as it were. And he's a natural. He's brilliant in front of the camera. Um, so definitely, if you are not following Moran, he shows some great stuff. He has a kind of I'm not sure if it's affiliation or if that's the right word, but um, Oneness Emporium, who I talk about Cheryl a lot. Cheryl has this shop, Oneness Emporium in the UK. It's an online shop, and you go in and buy lots and lots of different tarot decks. She's kind of partnered with, lots of the big publishers. And it's basically like it's decks that you can get in Amazon, but you're getting them like, you'll see when they get delivered. It's like, let to see if in fact, yeah, I do. Still got a box here. So it's like indie quality packaging and stuff, like lovely tissue paper and foam, and you get like a wee envelope with extra cards and stuff. It's just such a fantastic service that she provides. So Ramon, kind of you can get 10% off with Ramon's code. And if you follow him on Instagram and YouTube, then you'll see that he kind of in his stories, he'll promote different decks and he'll give the code to get the 10% off. So definitely, please go over and subscribe to Ramon and hit the bell notification, because yeah, he's such a lovely guy, and his stuff is really good. So, um, yeah, if we could give him a wee boost, that would be nice. Moran, oh my actual goodness, Moran. I don't know how many. I'm pretty sure I said Ramones did the Moran there. In fairness to me, it's a couple of letters out, but I do that all the time. I used to be quite good with names, right? But I've noticed that Ramon and Moran, I mix up your names sometimes. I also do it in work. So there's someone in my work called Leonard, and I keep calling him Lawrence. And it frustrates the life out of me because I say it, I say the name Lawrence, and then as soon as I say it, my brain says, "Shit, that wasn't right. There's something not right there," and I've got to think and correct myself. But it's so rude, like not calling someone the right name, especially when you've done it before and you don't learn from the blooming mistake. That frustrates me. But anyway, I apologise if I just mixed you up. And if I didn't and I just rambled for nothing, then I apologise for you listening to me rambling. Um, The last Thursday in March, right? Let me check. Maybe I put it in my actual calendar on my phone. That's maybe what the thing, what the issue is. Yeah, because that would be the 28th, wouldn't it? And it's not in. Let's put it in just now. Let's get the wee fountain pen out. That's the wee calligraphy fountain pen that I love using. I think it was Simon that put me onto this. So I'm just going to put your name in there, Deanne. We can probably decide what we're doing at a later date. Okay, Max's spring break. Right, cool. Um, Hershey is here. Hi, Hershey. How you doing? Hershey is another person that I need to get back to about collaborating with and going live with. I told you a long list, a list as long as my arm I have. Um, let's see. Taro Your Way is here. Hi there. How you doing? Star and Flurry Taro is here. Says good day all. How are you? That's a cool profile picture. Uh, let's see. I do, but I sit on the floor and have the laptop raised. Oh, talking about laptop cameras. Yeah. Let's see. You always look great. Oh, that's very kind of you. To be fair, Karen, you've probably always seen me with this camera. And it is a really good camera. It can be very deceiving, so it can. um, let's see. See you next. Oh, that was when I said, what do you think's the worst bad word? Yeah, the see you next Tuesday words. I know lots of people absolutely hate that. In Glasgow, it's a bit of a term of endearment, to be honest with you. That's a word that we tend to throw that word about like quite often in Glasgow. It's a bit unusual. You don't really find it very many other places. But yeah, I'm not going to start giving you examples and saying it because I'll probably offend half of you and I'll get like deleted from YouTube. So we won't do that. But yeah. Hi Robin, how you doing? Yeah, there's Deanne's talking about so on Android you hold down the O. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just press a vocal. Just press a vocal arms. All characters come up. Is that meant to be a vowel and all characters come up? And then my phone just remembers, yes. Gosh, how far behind in the chat am I? Uh, Sandra likes Moran's channel, yeah. Yep, the accent is for Ramon. Hi Beth, how are you? Lovely to see you. Gosh, there's lots of hellos here. I'm I'm just trying to kind of go through and find if there's any kind of a here we go. So one of my customers called me Dawn for for years. That says, uh, yeah, I get so in my job I speak to a lot of people from England, and I think it must just be my accent because so I answer the phone and I'll say, Chris speaking, how can I help? Um, and I've always got to repeat my name. Like they'll always say to me at the end of the call, "Oh, sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. Can you just repeat that?" I'll say, "Yeah, sure, it's Chris," and they go, "Okay, Cass or Kasim." They think that it's Cass short for Kasim. So see the amount of people that have got me down on the file notes as Kasim is unreal. Um, yeah, it's funny, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? If you enjoy a good old swear, then watch the trailer for Wicked Little Letters with Olivia Colman, based on a true story. It's hilarious, as feckin' hilarious, as Mrs. Brown might say. Um, oh, thank you, Hershey. Uh, Lawrence, Leonard. Yeah, I know it's human. I know it is. But I've got a bit of a thing about repeating mistakes. I'm quite harsh on myself when I repeat the same mistake over and over. I get really frustrated with myself. I don't think that's just a me thing. Does everyone else kind of resonate with that? Like, do you all get annoyed with yourself when you it makes you wonder why I'll enjoy some video games, because they infuriate me so much because video games, it's all about you keep doing it until you know, until you keep doing it and failing until you actually do it and you succeed. But, yeah, anyway. Beth says, "I taught yoga for years and although adjusting their hips and shoulders, couldn't remember their names." Um, oh, thanks, Deanne. The Marlene Dietrich soft lens camera. Yeah, that's it. You can actually, I wonder if I can show you, because yeah, I can show you. I can actually like toggle it and show you the difference. So on StreamYard, it lets you touch up your appearance. So if I click this button, so I don't know if you can notice that my appearance just changed, like it removed blemishes and stuff from my face. So right now it's at very subtle. I'm hoping that you can see the difference and that I don't need to X out of this for it to. Um, so that's it, very subtle. This is subtle, and then we have moderate, and then strong. This is a strong, like serious, like my face just looks like, and then there's very strong as well. Let's see, very strong. So this is my appearance touched up very strong. See, I think I look as though I've had like, not that there's anything wrong with Botox, but I think I look as though I've had some sort of like fillers done in my face. Um, but yeah, anyway, let's turn that off. There we go. What's the expression? If you can't take me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Is that it? Oh, I've just highlighted every single chat. That's quite jarring. Um, I like it and use it, but always in jest. Is that the C word or? Oh, so Sandra has the cosmic C word tarot. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden not using that word. Like, am I going to get like deleted or something, or is it fine? Can I just say it? What do you think? I don't really care. Just depends on context. It's said, and but A lot of women hate it. I had a discussion about it the other day. Did you know you're absolutely spot on, Karen? I think everything is about context. Case in point, right? So I could say, so I'm going to say two sentences to you. I'm going to use the C word, right, just to make my point. I'll say two sentences. Um, I will direct them at you, and you can tell me which one you're more offended by, right? Um, so if I say, "Oh, you're a silly cunt, aren't you?" Sentence one. Sentence two. Ah, you're just so perfect, aren't you? Right now, which one felt more like an attack? Was it anything to do with the actual words that I used? No, it was all the tone. It was all in the tone and the way that I put it across. So everything, absolutely everything is about context. Um, I'm saying that as though, that's what I think anyway. Maybe some of you will absolutely hate that first word and you will be more offended by the first sentence. But anyway, that was our wee social experiment of the night. You like the deck because it's an alien deck. Really want to see that film. Are you Christian or Christopher? I'm Christopher. Uh, that's actually quite. I'm surprised you didn't know that. But why would you know that? I'm Chris everywhere. But yeah, my full name is Christopher. My mum calls me Christopher. She will not shorten my name. Like she says, that's the name that I gave you. That's the name I'm going to use, and she's always called me Christopher. And because of that, like everyone who knows me through my mum calls me Christopher. It's funny. It's a mass market deck. When my husband and I were at a restaurant in Dublin, our poor waitress had to repeat the name of the soup of the day because we just couldn't catch that she was saying carrot. um, Simon can't tell the difference. Oh, with that was with the touching up the appearance. It gives you a dewy complexion. I'm going to do it. I need Botox. Perfect, just as you are, Simon. Prefer au natural, says Golden. Oh, thank you. You can absolutely swear on YouTube. Right, that's good. I think it might be StreamYard, Kim was saying. I don't know, Kim, if you're still here, but I think it might have been StreamYard that was creating the issue. Or it might have just been because she moved her microphone at that point and it might have just disconnected the audio. Uh, let's see. Have you seen Kelly Swearbear's channel? That's a very good point. Um, in the States, it's the worst word ever. Loving this. The second one was more offensive. Okay. Isn't the is that bastard? Isn't that more offensive over the pond? So I think it depends where you are, to be honest with you. I think it's probably quite similar to in the US. Um, yeah, who knew we would go down this rabbit hole? I know it's anybody's guess what we're going to end up talking about, isn't it? We use the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday word as a mild swear of endearment in Liverpool, but I know it might be taken as offensive out of context. It's like the old "you've never looked better." That could be an insult or a compliment. Yeah. Uh, Bitch. Didn't we have this conversation on your channel once, Simon? See, now that just looks like you've called Simon bitch. Like, bitch, didn't we just have this conversation on your channel? It just occurred to me that guys named Topher are probably a shortening of Christopher. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. I definitely know have known people called Christopher who shorten it to Topher. I think it's it's horrible in my opinion. I would hate to be called that, but I know that it's a done thing. Uh, Somebody called my roommate a dumb uh, dumb bitch. I take it. Is it dumb bitch or dumb bastard? Dumb bitch probably. She told the person, "Fine, don't ever call me dumb." Quite right. Uh, Sandra Offerold. No one needs Botox. We're all perfect just as we are. Never thought about it either, thanks. About Topher. Um, I think the B word Laura meant was the female. The B word that Laura meant was the female dog word, right? Okay. Uh, See you next Tuesday. We'll get you slapped over here. Twix Taro's here. Says howdy all. It's lovely to see you. Simon says I'll answer you, bitch. My best friends. We call each other betches all the time. Term of endearment. Okay. I wanted to share one of the Total Tarot decks with you this week. Now, this week it's Tarot of White Cats. Now, I am not a fan of anthropomorphized animal decks. I'll tell you that right now. So, this isn't intended to be like a review of this deck or anything. It's, even if you do take it as a review, it will not be a shining review, I can't imagine. Um, so, why is it open? Like it's not in the cellophane. Have I used this? I don't remember opening this. Oh well. I don't need to take the cellophane off. That's good. Um, okay, so it's Smithwaite style. I just think it's so unusual seeing animals like doing humany things. Just like it's unusual to see humans doing animally things. Um, right, let's see. Oh, look at that big ring mark on my blooming table. I'm going to blame Sandy for that because he was working here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Although there's a good chance it's not him; it was me. I was hoping. Let's see. Can we zoom in and get that ring mark out of the shot? Nah, not really. I don't even have anything handy that I can wipe it with. Do I? Hang on. Bear with. Oh, what are these? These are wet wipes. Oh no, it's not. It's a just a carrier bag. Oh well. Right. Tarot of White Cats, Total Tarot comes with editions or parts 30 to 31. These are the backs. Sure someone will love them. Cardstock is fantastic. It's your usual Total Tarot cardstock. Los Carabeo, no complaints here. I'll just flip through these whilst I'm reading the chat, I guess. Simon, You're not a bitch, you dirty bastard. Sounds so steady, Robin. Not just cats, but white cats. Very specialised deck. I know, right? Then again, there are all kind of a different cats in it. Are you still coming over in May? Robin is asking Simon. Oh yeah, you're supposed to be visiting the States, aren't you, Simon? And what was the descriptive word before? Oh, anthropomorphized. So like when animals are doing humany things. I don't know what the best way to describe it is. Um, yeah, crop circle on your table. I'd love to, Robin, but if not, then December. It's definitely happened this year. Magician is cute. Hi, April. How you doing? Ah, I like that. That's quite cool. I mean, apart from that, but that's quite a cool idea. You know, they've done something a wee bit different with that card. Those cats aren't white. False advertising. I've got presents waiting for you. If you wait till after the election, they might not be letting any foreigners in. God forbid. Gosh, death is really cool. That's I like that. I think that's really cool. So we seem to be getting into a pattern here. So this is quite a for the most part, it's very Smith Waite, but I do quite enjoy the cards that go off piste, and there have been a few. Temperance, Devil. Let's see, quite. I think that looks quite cool. I'm glad to hear it, April. Mm, yeah, see, that's another one that goes off piste, but I'm not really feeling that one, to be honest with you. Um, just four different cats staring. Um, is Total Tarot still going strong? I don't hear anyone talking about it. See if you follow Tony Antoinette. Tony does a video every time she gets the Total Tarot through, and yeah, it's still going. But I've emailed them to try and cancel my subscription. Although I realised today I've not heard back from them, so I'll need to follow that up, maybe with a phone call or something. It's finances. Robin got an inland revenue letter this week. Got a small cost of living pay increase in January, and it's tipped me into the next tax bracket. Basically means a £500 pay cut. Oh, that's ridiculous. Three of Cups, Four of Cups, five. So far, the cups are all very Rider-Waite Smith. That's different. Okay, we're on to the Pentacles. See how they've like rearranged these? Like On the, I wonder if I've got a deck in order. I think it's just the majors that are in order in this one. This is the kind of a Dirty Palm deck. Um, I probably don't even need to show you to talk about it because we all know this deck so well. But in the Ten of the Pentacles in the Smith Waite, the Pentacles are arranged in the shape of the Tree of Life. It's got to be one of the last cards, isn't it? There it's there. So they're arranged quite particularly. All right. So like Ketter's at the top, Hawkma, Binah, and I don't know them all, so I'm not going to go through them all, but it's all the way down to Malkut down at the bottom. And you've got this kind of a top triangle, and then we have like an upside down triangle here, and another upside down triangle, and then Malkut kind of as like the hanging fruit at the bottom. So it's this particular shape. Now, they've deliberately rearranged the shape of the coins or the pentacles here. But I can't. It doesn't seem to be. And if they were to do it, like I don't know, and put them in a particular order, then I would get it. But if you're not going to put them in a specific order, then why not just keep it as the tree of life? I don't know. Says the Ten of Pentacles police here. Uh, it's a handsome deck if you like cats. Queen and King, and then we're on to the wands. Sandra said it doesn't sound right. Our tax system sucks. Tony said it's not the tree of life. It definitely is on the Ten of Pentacles and the Smithwaite Ten of Pentacles. They're arranged deliberately in the pattern of the tree of life. Massive jump from 20% of salary to 40%. See, yeah, but I thought it was so. I thought it was only the amount that you earn above that threshold. That's what gets taxed by 40%. So say, let's just say for talking sake that, or you just pull random numbers out my arse. I don't actually know what the amounts are. Say we get £10,000 free, up to £20,000 is 20%, and anything above £20,000 is 40%, right? Say those are the brackets, and they're not, but say they are. I thought it was only, so if you earn 25,000, for example, I thought it was only that top £5,000 that gets to 40%. So if you're getting a wage rise that pushes you up into that, it should never make you earn less because, like, it's only that if it's pushed you up, it would only be that top slice that's been taxed at 40%. So you would still be having 60% of that top slice. No, that's the way I understand it anyway. And I do need to understand a wee bit about earnings because part of my job is calculating when people have lost earnings and stuff. But I'm by no means an expert. Anything that gets slightly complicated, we get accountants to look at it. Let's see. Scrappy, time to reduce hours to sit below it maybe. Sorry, I've just stopped flicking through and I'm throwing cards everywhere. Oh, dear me. Right, we're on the Three of Wands. Not my kind of thing. Gives me cat clown vibes. I had this deck on my wish list for donkey's years. I should really buy it one of these days. It's pretty cool. I'm glad you like it. That's a wee bit different. Um, Thank you for showing, so I know not to get this cat deck. I love cats, but not sold on this one. If you like cat decks, then um, Malamir's Cat Aura Tarot is it's a stunning deck, and that's coming from someone who I like animal decks, but I've never been big on decks that are specific to one animal. So like a cat deck or a dog deck or a snake deck or a gerbil deck, whatever. I've never really veered towards decks like that. That, however, is a beautiful deck. And I'm a bit biased, I'll say, because I'm friends with Malamir and because, I like Malamir as a person. I think she's a wonderful person. So obviously, I'm going to gel well with her deck because I gel really well with her. But that said, it's stunning. And I've done a couple of videos on it, so you can check it out for yourself. Okay, so just because the 60% I do get, you have to take out national insurance and pension contribute. All right, okay. Well, that sucks, Simon. I'm really sorry to hear it. Tony, are you still doing total tarot flip throughs? If you have just tipped into the 40% bracket, then you should only be paying that on the increase. Yeah, that's what I was saying as well. And Greg used to work for HMRC. There you go. Yes, Robin mentioned you when I hit the 10 of Cups and Liberty. What do you think of the Liberty Tarot, Tony? I quite like it. It's different. Two of Swords, Three of Swords. See, they've not just got the heart. Excuse me. The heart being pierced by the swords. They've introduced a wee cat down here. It's complicated here too. Tax stuff. Yeah. Let's see. 40% is 37.5 up to 150. Oh, please don't tell me that. That's a lot lower than what I thought it was, is what I'll say. A hell of a lot lower than what I thought it was. Like, as in, I thought it was like up there at like, I don't know, 50, 60 grand. That's depressing. Um, April's not a fan. Sorry, I keep randomly stopping, don't I? I thought it was band 7 and above, but that would hit band 6 too. Writing that deck suggestion down. I'll watch the video. Oh, for Cat Aura Tarot. Yeah. So me and Malamir have done two videos where we both kind of have walked through the deck. And obviously they're really good. Not because anything that I've done, but because we're getting Malamir, the creators or creatrix's point of view. Um, So yeah, definitely check them out. I've also done a quick flip through where I've done a side by side with Malamir's other deck, the Chakra Healing Tarot. Um, Cat Tarot is far out. You can channel the different characters for support. Um, let's see. Really like it. Apparently, the illustrated minors are based on the Pikatrix books. The Liberty. Ah, okay. I kind of wondered because it's obviously very thothy. Um, I'm kind of like getting really interested in Thoth, can I just say? There's been chat of a wee Thoth study group. Um, yeah, so look out for that. That might be something that's coming up soon. Um, but yeah, it's a very Thoth-based deck. Do you know what really fucking irritates me about it though? In fact, it's right there so I can show you. I hate it when decks do this. Look at the backs. The backs is the actual adjustment card. Like, they've just taken the adjustment card and made that the back. Like, who does that? Why? Why would you do that? Does that it's just me, or is that just really irritating? Like, no need, no need. You could. I would rather it was just like a plain color. Let's see this nice tealy blue color. Just all that. Anyway, I need to get a life sometimes. I care too much about some things. Um, like I would genuinely take that back over that one. I love Cat Tarot. I burst out in laughter every time I used to read. Um, I wouldn't use to read on others for that reason. Cat Tarot. Is this another tarot deck that we're talking about? Sorry. Um, so if I'm on, say, for yeah, that was what I was saying. That's certainly my understanding, Simon. It should only be the amount that you go above the threshold. Uh, Website says it's when you hit 37.5, right? Okay. Oops. I seem to have a bit of a collection of cat decks. I didn't set out to do that. It just happened. I only realised recently when I was sorting through my decks. I never used I never used to have any of them. That's quite funny. Um, oh, the government website, right? I see. Um, I use it at the end of a reading. It's always so true. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. Donna says Thoth study. Yes. Um, Simon says I hate it when that happens. What when someone starts a Thoth study group? No, I'm kidding. I know what you mean. When they use one of the cards as the pack, but also when someone starts a Thoth study group. Oh dear. Um, let's see. I hate it when they use art from the front as the card backs. Yeah. Does not bother me. I don't want reversible backs either. See, most of the time I'm not fussed. One type of reading that I do use reversals in is timing readings. And that deck is one that actually has the astrological correspondences on it. So it is a candidate for timing readings. So I'll show you what I mean. Um, so sorry, turn the camera background. So see, like for example, for the Four of Cups, we have the Moon in Cancer. So that is the third deacon in Cancer. And now I need to try and remember what months Cancer is in. Is it like June, July, I think? So this would be mid-July. So um so yeah, I use reversals because Well, we can talk another time about timing readings and stuff. I don't have reversals shuffled into this and stuff, and it's all in order. Um, but yeah, I use reversals and those types of readings. So this is a deck that I would want to be shuffling reversals into, and of course, because it's not reversible, it, I don't know. It's just oops, it's going to annoy me. I'm just being a whinge tonight, aren't I? Uh, Cat Tarot by Eshinatsu. Is that how I'm going to say that? Had Marilyn Monroe, Freddie Mercury, Fox Mulder, Sherlock Holmes, etc. Okay. You're allowed the tax-free allowance before you pay anything, then 20% up to the rate max, then anything above at 40%. I would need to know why your code is changed. Right, okay. Yeah, that too, when someone starts a thought study group. uh, okay. You know more about astrology than you have let on about in past when I use my astrology references. I mean, I know a wee bit. I've kind of sort of got the deacons in my head just because I've done a wee bit of time in readings and I use them for that. Um, but I'm not very good at knowing what the 12 zodiac mean, and I know what some of them mean, like some of the more kind of a stereotypical. Do you know what I mean? Like, and because I know how they relate to the tarot, I can kind of work my way through. Uh, and the planetary bodies as well. I'm a wee bit shaky. I need to learn. I need to study up on it. Hence, study group. So that if if I was doing my own personal study into the Thoth, I was talking to Jonathan Daly about this recently. I would want to be like kind of just looking at not in any like painful detail, but just I'd like to be giving myself a wee bit of background on like the planetary bodies, the zodiac, um, the tree of life, the 10 Sephirot, the 22 paths, the Hebrew alphabet, because these are all things that are packed into the Thoth. Um, and I'm not by any means saying that if you don't know these things, then you can't read with Thoth, because I don't think that at all. But I just happen to be a bit of a nerd, and I like to learn things like this. So, like things like that actually stimulate me and make me quite eager to learn. So, yeah, those are the kind of things that I'll probably find myself looking into. So if anyone else is interested in geeking out on that kind of a stuff with us, then I'll look out for it. I'll post about it. Um, I'll probably do something. I'll post about it similar to what I used to do with the Mary L study group. I'll put YouTube posts and um, Instagram posts and stuff about it. So check it out. Um, let's see. I'm about to really study astrology March 9th. signed up for intensive 6-month-long class. Wow, that'll be cool, Karen. You looking forward to it? Right, time we are just after 10 o'clock. I was going to do a wee spread if everyone's got a tarot deck that they're going to use. I've actually forgotten what tarot deck I was going to use. Had I even decided? I think I will use. The question is, am I going to be able to find that? Um, that's really weird, actually. I was going to use the Unfolding Path Tarot. Doesn't seem to be here. It must be in my bag. I must have, I think I put it in my bag at one point to take it with me to read for someone. Right, okay, that's annoying. Mm, what will we fall on as a backup? Do you know what we'll use? See, because Simon and I are we still doing Throwback Thursday next week, Simon? And am I right in thinking that uh, it's with this deck, Starman Tarot? Because I have actually been kind of doing some readings here and there with this deck. I'm trying to actually spend some time with the decks that Simon and I are doing throwbacks on, so as that when I come to do the live with Simon, then I've actually got an informed opinion. That makes sense. Uh, yes, it's with Dusty White, who did Advanced Tarot Secrets book. So this is the astrology. I might be on some podcasts with him in future. I'll let you know if so. Oh, that'd be cool. Definitely let us know. Um, anyone else remember when Chris's collection barely fitted, barely filled the cubes? Yeah, I can remember. If you look back at some of the first videos, and they're all still on there, I've never taken any videos down. But if you look back at some of my first videos, you'll see, I think you'll see when my collection only fitted in 2 of these cubes. And now I've got shelves here. You've got pretty much the entire unit. You got these shelves, and you've got on top of there as well. It's funny how our collections expand, isn't it? Are we sharing and play with your spread? Yeah, so this is everyone join in. Everyone's going to pull cards together, pull their own cards. I've got a spread here. Actually, I didn't discover it because I knew it. I just kind of had forgotten. But in the Total Tarot magazines, there's a spread with every magazine. Now, part 1 is a 1-card spread, and part 2 is a past, present, future spread. So we're going to ignore them and we're going to skip to part 3. But I thought each week we could, like when we're doing this, we could um we could work our way through the spreads in Total Tarot magazine. And some of them will be shit, some of them will be really good, some of them will be all right, but at least we can say that we've tried them all out. So yeah, just find Tony and Sandra. By the way, do you guys keep? Have you guys like done this where you actually put your mag? Oh, that's a bit too zoomed in. So it comes with this folder, and you can sort your magazines into the folders. Um, do any of you actually have you actually sat and took the time to actually do this? I'm going to be honest. I kind of it took a disproportionate amount of time and energy to do this, and I don't even know if it was worth it because now, like, so for example, we want to go into part three and look at the spread. Now I've got this big folder to fight with. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to want to sit with that open at a page, and that's going to want to like close itself over, and I don't know if I'm sold on it, to be honest with you. Like it's I suppose it's nice and orderly, like to have them all like organised and sitting nice in the ducats. But yeah. Anyway, once again, I'm just whinging. Let's find the spread. Oh, here we go. The Golden Crown. So this is how the spread is laid out. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, like kind of a fanned out, and then there's one card. The fifth card is kind of a laying on its side at the bottom. A wee secret for you: I kind of hate cards being on their side in a tarot spread. The only one that I can kind of put up with is in the Celtic Cross when you have the cross at the start, and even at that, I'll quite often not have that sitting across. There's just something about it where I'm like, cards aren't meant to sit that way. But anyway, um, so I'll do the usual. I'll pop this over here, and I will. So a whole load of crap here that shouldn't be here. I'll put the position meanings in the chat as I'm going through. So I've got the Starman Tarot, the David Bowie Tarot. Please remove my comment so we can see the spread better. In capital fecking letters. It looks to me as though you can still see the spread there, but never mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4 fanned out, and then the fifth goes along the bottom. Okay. Starman Tarot, the David Bowie Tarot is what I'm using. What are you guys using? Who's joining in and what deck are you using? Yep, it's the Bowie next Thursday. Simon confirms. Brilliant. You haven't shown the shelves on your right in a video. These ones. I've I've definitely taken people through them. Or are you meaning the ones over here? So the shelves that are over there, it's the exact same type of shelf that's down there. I've only recently put that there. Right. Dusty White's easiest way to learn tarot was the first tarot book that I purchased, says Debbie. Nice. Tony, you do put them in the binders, right? Okay. You love how Dusty Teaches put out astrology book last year. Advanced Tarot Secrets is super good. That's we're talking about tax codes. No, I asked them to stop sending me the binders. I remember you saying that last week, Sandra, actually. Tony says, I've been toying with elastic strings like a traveller's notebook for easy removal. Okay. Uh, so Robin's joining in. He's using the Delos Tarot. John is using the Deviant Moon. Golden Universal Rider Waite Smith for Golden. Golden for Golden. That's appropriate. Um, Beth is joining in and using Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinane. Oh, to your right, right, okay. Lottie is using the Mons Tarot. Karen is using the Cat Tarot. I've got Serpent and Peacock, says Donna. Tony might try out the Zombie Tarot. And Greg, well, oh, we're talking about tax codes. Cool. Right. So this spread is called the Golden Crown. Information about it says a general inquiry spread that offers insight into a situation. The Golden Crown can help a querent to overcome obstacles, learn a valuable life lesson, and understand how to resolve challenges positively. So there we go. It's a very kind of a down to earth, practical spread. So we'll see what it tells us. Let's see. I'm playing along, says Kathy, using the Golden Art Nouveau, which I recently got. I didn't know if it would be my cup of tea, but I'm obsessed. I have completed my Golden Art Nouveau. So that was the deck where they were sending um, 2 cards a month with Total Tarot, and that's me finally completed it, and that's why I have that's why I've cancelled my subscription, because I finally completed that deck. Greg is using the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, I think it's on Oneness Emporium, Tony. Sure I've seen it on there. Okay, shall we begin? So the first position is the past. Okay, so it says this card represents an event in the past that is the cause of the current situation or strongly influences it. It can be considered as the root of the problem or the starting point for what is happening now. Okay, so card 1 is the past. I don't know whether, so I've put the past in the chat just now, but I don't know whether is there anyone watching who, because every time I go to type, I've got to grab my keyboard over because my keyboard normally sits right here in front of me. So it's a bit of a pain. It's not that much of a pain, but it's a wee bit of a pain. I wonder, is there anyone that wouldn't mind, see when I shout out what the position titles are? Would you mind popping it in the chat, kind of like what I'm doing, just so that anyone who doesn't catch what I say or is following this along later can see what the positions are? Beth, thank you so much, Beth. You're a wee star. Okay. Sorry, I'm really milking this shuffle, aren't I? Okay, the past. 10 of Pentacles. Here we go. 10 of Pentacles. So this is the 10 of Pentacles from the Starman Tarot. And Starman Tarot is kind of like like Apocalypsis and what's the other one called? I've got it. It was another Total Tarot. Um, Da Vinci? No, no. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Someone will know what I'm talking about. But they're very jam-packed with lots of detail, and it can be quite overwhelming at times. But just focusing in on this, so the past, I you'll know if you've watched me read before, but I very rarely use past, present, future type spreads. Usually, for me, the what would be the past is more like the past that's relevant to today. What has led up to where I am just now? What is feeding into this situation? Sometimes what this is telling you is, what is the basis of the situation? This feels quite positive, you know. It feels like a system that's been set up and set up for success. Do you know what I mean? It feels as though I've kind of done a lot of work to get myself into a really positive and structured, stable place. Um, the keyword for this, the Golden Dawn keyword, I think, is wealth, the Lord of Wealth. Um, so really kind of just getting myself into that really kind of a strong place. So I'm interested to see where this goes because I feel as though this is nothing really without the present card to see what it's actually feeding into. So we'll be able to see with context, is this actual finance that's feeding into something, or is it maybe more sort of this could even be about health. So maybe the next card is going to tell me about something that I'm going to do that needs me to be in tip top healthy condition, which I'm really not. So I doubt that this is about health. But let me see. Um, Donna's got the King of Cups reversed. Okay, so interesting. We're doing reversals, are we? Challenge me, will you? Okay, so for me, the King of Cups is the air and water. Okay, I associate the kings with air. It's social responsibility. It is that kind of intellect that basically keeps everything together, that oversees everything, that makes sure that everything's kind of a ticking. Now, some of the kings, because they do have that very kind of a responsible position, like the King of Swords, for example, some of them can come off as really quite cold and remote. But some of them, so I think maybe like the King of Wands and the King of Cups, to me, they're actually quite engaging kings. The King of Wands because he likes to be involved. The King of Cups because he has that kind of a watery, has that part, that cups element, that emotional part of him, where he does actually enjoy connecting with other people. Now, for me, if he's reversed, that could be saying that the air is kind of a taking over the water a wee bit. So he might be a wee bit too emotionally controlling, you know. Um, Things might need to be a wee bit too, you know, it's his way or the highway. Also, I feel as though like it's kind of like the King of Cups is kind of like a negotiator or a therapist or a mediator, you know. He's someone who you're putting your trust in to help you with a situation that's close to your heart, that's quite emotional. I think we need to watch out for those characters when they're reversed because to me that's maybe someone who's looking to take advantage out of a situation that people are emotionally vested in. Um, those are my thoughts on when the King of Cups is reversed, but I'm interested in what other people think about that because not everyone does the same thing with reversals. So for me, all of the courts are like individuals, they're personality type cards. Every personality has up points and down points, and when the card comes up reversed, it's more, the down points are more strongly accented. Debbie has the Page of Cups. Let's see, Golden has the Devil, Lottie has the World, Oh, we have a doubler. So John has the world as well. So the world you guys have in the world, that's quite a nice card to have. Is if that's where you're coming from, if that's what's setting you up for whatever's happening just now, then that's telling me that you know you've kind of you're in a place. You're exactly where you need to be. That's what I'm trying to say. You are exactly where you need to be. You've kind of achieved what you've looked to achieve. Um, the world is almost like your oyster because you've kind of set yourself up in such a way that you're in a position to do whatever you want. Um, that's how I would read that card. So it's interesting that he's both got that. Starman should go out dancing with a Ciro Marchetti. They're both so extra. Card one, the Fool. That's a nice card one. Um, Beth got the Page of Cups too, so we've got two Page of Cupses. Interesting. So, what do we think about that then, Debbie and Beth? Page of Cups for the past. So, the Page of Cups, young and enthusiastic and quite uh, new to the world of emotions. That doesn't make sense. Um, to me, the Page of Cups represents is when we are kind of have that childlike attitude towards certain things. Um, we just want to be everyone's friend, or we just only see the good in people. You know, we can't possibly imagine that anyone would ever lie to us or be bad to us. Though naivety, that kind of a naivety is what I tend to associate with the Page of Cups. But when you think, and you have told me what decks you are using, but um, the unfinished business, I don't know that deck, so I don't know what the Page of Cups looks like. And Debbie, you are using, not sure what you're using, Debbie. But you know how the traditional Page of Cups certainly has that kind of we usually have a cup with something jumping out of it. And to me, it represents like an opportunity. It's something new, something to be excited by. But often with the Page of Cups, it feels really like unexpected. It's like a surprise. It's like a wee surprise. So often when the Page of Cups comes up in a spread, it can just mean like that kind of a sense of, oh, I'm so excited. I wasn't expecting that type thing. Um, Greg got the Ten of Cups. Tony got the Magician. Powerful. Everything you need at your fingertips. Robin got the Nine of Pentacles. Pride in my accomplishments. Definitely, it tells you that you're coming from a place where you've worked hard for everything that you've got, Robin. That Nine of Pentacles, that doesn't just represent like lavishness and affluence and just basically being a rich bitch. That to me, I mean, we see a bit of that in the Nine of Pentacles, but I think what's important is that she's worked her arse off for every single one of those pentacles. And we kind of see that represented in like the wee snail, the slowly but surely. We see that represented in the falconry. Um, it takes a lot of discipline and commitment to be able to get yourself to a place. I'm talking about the Smithwaite Nine of Pentacles here. Sorry, folks. Um, yeah, it takes a lot of commitment to actually master that. Um, so to me, that in the past position is saying that you've worked your absolute arse off for everything that you've got, and to get you to where you are right now. So it'll be interesting to see what card you pull next. Donna always reads reversals. Seven of Pentacles. It's a fat cat trying to get treats out of a toy. um, oh dear, excuse me. The feel for my past card is pretty apt. I had a bit of a midlife crisis a few years ago and completely changed careers and went back to uni at age 40. Good for you though, Kathy. I mean, it's so good that you were able to do that. You knew that you wanted to do it and you just did it. So more power to you. Um, I need to retire. Card one is the magician. Oh, okay, so you're retiring for the night. Card one is the magician. Card two is the moon. Ten of swords, strength, and the six of cups. Well, we'll do the usual, Tony. If you want, post a picture and the either on my post and barely balanced, or I'm not sure if you can post a picture on Instagram. No one did last week or 2 weeks ago. If you need the spread positions, Tony, it's the spread in part three in magazine three. If you want to look it up, um, so because I know you've got it. Star and Flurry Tarot is the Nine of Wands. Okay, so you it's similar to what the message was Robin, but as well as you've had to work hard to get to where you are, and you've got the bumps and bruises to prove it. You've been through a lot, um, and there's that same sense of I've worked hard and I've got to where I am through, you know, sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. Um, but just with that Nine of Wands, because it's that fiery element, that just feels a lot more like I've really been burnt. I've gone through a lot to get here. Um, I think it refers to my optimism about my marriage in the beginning, says Beth. Oh, the Page of Cups, right, okay. Um, Symbolic Souls has an anthropomorphic fish holding a cup with a person inside. Nice. We like a wee reversal of the roles. Um, my mum refers to it as my second act. I'm hoping I've a few acts left in me before the curtains close. Oh, I'm sure you will. Oh, the photos in Belly Balance. Brilliant. Thanks, Tony. Uh, Chris, you can't see my card. It made you laugh. It's such a funny deck. Yeah. Okay, the next card is the present. Okay, so we had the past and now we've got the present. So this symbolises the current situation and may refer to an outside situation of the sitter's psychological issues. Psychological state. I beg your pardon. On some occasions, the card in the present position may be used to indicate the problem the querent is facing and what could be improved in their life. So the present and Beth's on it. She's on it like a car bonnet. I've got the Prince of Wands. Now I need to check what is happening with the courts in this deck. So what have we got? We've got Princess, Prince, and I'm taking it. I'll have Queen and King. Okay, so this is kind of like the Knight of Wands. Okay. So the Prince of Wands or the Knight of Wands is for me. That's where I get to kind of burn off some energy, burn off some fuel. Um, I've if this is about my career, I've been working in my current job for 11 years, so I've built up a fair bit of knowledge and understanding and experience. I've got a bit of experience under my belt in what I'm doing, and I feel as though that's maybe what's represented by the Ten Pentacles. Now I'm at a place where I can kind of like experiment or just branch out, kind of just put the feelers out and see what's out there, I can afford to make mistakes because I've got that kind of a stable system to fall back on, you know. I've already proven myself. So I can afford to kind of go a wee bit balls to the wall with my Knight of Wands, or my Prince of Wands, which for me is the Fire of Fire. Usually in the traditional deck, it's represented by a horse who's up on two legs, so expending a lot of energy but not actually getting anywhere. But sometimes we need to do that, you know. So the Knight of Wands is kind of like the going to the gym card. You know, you're going to the gym and you're burning off energy. Um, so yeah, that's for me. That feels quite apt. Um, I would love for this to mean that I've built up loads and loads of money, so now I can just go crazy and spend loads of money. But um, I don't think that it quite means that. I think my bank account might laugh at me if I said that that was what that meant. So, um, let's see. So Debbie has the Queen of Swords. Beth has the Three of Cups. Nice. Um, Nine of Pentacles for Golden. 10 of Cups for John. So that's you had the World to start off with, didn't you, John? Yeah, the World. So that's nice. Like your World is setting you up for your 10 of Cups, for your, your stable emotional environment, your emotional safe space. Um, the Sun for Lottie. Nice. So you had that Nine of Wands, didn't you? So the Nine of Wands leading into the Sun. So you've worked hard, but it's nice that it's leading you to a place of that is maybe a bit more joyful. And where for me the Sun isn't just about being happy and being joyful and having all that kind of a positivity. The Sun is where we kind of learn to appreciate ourselves. Um, so where I get that from, the Mary L Tarot Guidebook, Landscapes of the Abyss, you read what she says about the Sun. It's where the Fool gets to this point where so the Fool's been working towards this, this deity in the sky, or that this kind of a unreachable thing, and he comes to like, he comes to a point where he sees the Sun and he realizes that it was him. He recognizes it as himself. He sees that he is the god or the deity or this this thing that he's been striving to. This whole thing was actually within him all along, basically. Um, so it's basically where we learn to recognize and appreciate the amazing parts about ourselves, and that is what gives us this sense of joy. It's this sense of kind of a um, sense of kind of a pride in yourself, and um, yeah, that's kind of a how I see the Sun. Um, so it's quite nice that because with the Nine of Wands, it feels like you're coming from a place of, like I'd said, you've worked hard and you've got yourself to a good place, but you've you've had to deal with a lot in order to get there. You've had to fight your way through, but now it feels like you can kind of almost take a bit of a breather and just like kind of feel that joy a bit, maybe. Robin, Nine of Pentacles, and then the Five of Cups. Okay. So we had the Nine of Pentacles, and that was you kind of working hard to get to where you are. And into the Five of Cups at present, I mean, only you can really know what that means, I guess, Robin. Um, you've put depression question mark. Do you feel as though it's probably quite a personal thing to talk about on such a big forum? So, um, if you feel as though this is maybe one for you, just to maybe keep the deeper interpretation to yourself, then that's absolutely fine. But um, Yeah, I suppose if I got that card, I'd be looking at where I am right now, and I'd be thinking, what about my current situation could that be pointing to? And I don't think the Five of Cups is necessarily has to point to depression. Um, it's the Lord of Disappointment and the Golden Dawn keywords. Um, the fives represent kind of a change when change comes along and kind of unbalances us a wee bit. So a change to our kind of an emotional situation or our connections, our connections to other people. So has there been a shift in how you're connecting to the world around about you? Um, and is that maybe kind of just throwing you a wee bit? Now it might be actually quite on paper, it might be quite a positive shift. So maybe it's that you've started connecting more with people in person, you know. Um, but the way that you're kind of internally react, you're just having to kind of a snap back a wee bit. It's just get a matter of getting used to it again. That could well be that could be a pretty valid thing for what that Five of Cups might be trying to say to you. So yeah, I'll leave that for you to ponder. Eight of Swords reversed. Are you just throwing out reverse cards for the sake of it now, Donna? Um, okay, so what did we have first? We had a reverse card first, didn't we? It was the King of Cups, and now the Eight of Swords. So, so the Eight of Swords usually is telling us, we're in a bit of a we're almost caging ourselves in by limiting ourselves. It's our own thinking, our own narrow view of ourselves, our own self-limiting thoughts that are caging us in. All right, because the swords represent our thoughts, um, and usually the gist of it is, you've got everything that you need in order to remove yourself from that situation. It's just about you working through whatever it is you need to work through and actually removing yourself from it. If it's reversed, usually in the kind of a pips, and well, in most of the cards really, if it's reversed, I kind of tend to read that as right. Okay, we're blocking ourselves from moving on to the next kind of a stage of the process. So you're blocking yourself in the eight and not letting yourself get to the nine. Um, so if you're blocking yourself in the eight, it's almost like that you're ready to move away from that situation, but there's still something that's holding you back. There's still something that's anchoring you. Um, and maybe what you need to do is work out exactly what it is that's rooting you to the spot. When you intellectually know that I I don't need to be stuck in this in this position, in this situation, in this place, whatever it might be. Um, what is it that's rooting you to the spot? What is it that's keeping you there? Uh, Seven of Pence and the Queen of Wands for Care Bear, the cat lying by the fire on the owner's lap, holding her wand toy. Nice. Okay. So the Seven of Pentacles is leading into the Queen of Wands. So that's like return on investment right there, isn't it? But in a very kind of a um, self-development type way. So you've invested in yourself, you've put time and effort into yourself, and with the Queen of Wands, you're seeing that you're seeing the results of that. You're seeing it come out in yourself. You feel that you know, you've seen a positive change in yourself, and you feel more confident for it. Could be Robin, your call, obviously, but could be comparing the now with your past and not able to see all that you have in your life now, even if it's different. Uh, Devil goes to the Nine of Pentacles for golden. So the Devil is your first card, and the Nine of Pentacles is your second. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. It'll be interesting to see what other cards you get, but the Devil and the Nine of Pentacles. So, I mean, the Devil is a card that's driven by desire, and we so often associate it with the kind of a the more negative stuff, because our desires, when we're led to like solely by desire, and it's almost like we're surrendering that aspect of kind of a free will and choice, and that's where we end up in situations where we're maybe putting ourselves in danger, or we surrender our self control, and it's almost like we hand the keys over to someone else. Um, but that desire, that powerful desire, can also be used in a positive way as well. So there's people that have done all sorts of amazing things in this world, and that's been fueled by desire. And the devil does represent that desire as well. In my view, anyway, that's just my view. Um, so to me, if your devil is leading to the Nine of Pentacles, I mean, I said it before, the Nine of Pentacles is someone who's striven, who's really kind of a worked hard, like applied a lot of discipline and commitment to get to where they are, probably sacrificed a lot as well. Um, and that it feels like that kind of a desire, that like that self-drivenness. I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to say, but it's the fact that you're so self-driven has pushed you to that what feels like quite a positive place. So I'm quite liking those cards, golden. We'll see what comes up. Star and Flurry Tarot is the King of Cups. Lottie had the World and then the Sun. Ah, interesting. Right, I made a mistake then, didn't I? I've mixed you up with with the person that had the Nine of Wands, right? Sorry, that was Star and Flurry Tarot, wasn't it? You had the Nine of Wands, is that right? Yeah. Sorry. Interesting, right? So I think the stuff that I said about the sun applies. Um, I've noticed, right, quite a few times when I've been pulling cards for myself, I get the world and the moon together. Um, and it's just when you've said you've had the world and the sun. So the world, our Earth, revolves around the sun. And to speak to my example, the moon orbits the Earth. So I'm just wondering what people think about that card combination. I think it's quite interesting. Um, I need to take a drink. Kathy's got the Five of Wands, a few challenges in my new job, getting used to getting used to office politics, and a bit of inner conflict, imposter syndrome, and finding my place in peace, I guess. Yeah, I think we kind of all go through something like that when we find ourselves in a new job. I'm working with some of the kind of a newer people in my own work, and it's just there's so much stuff to hit you at once, isn't it? Because you're having to focus on learning the stuff, learning the actual job, being the newbie who, I mean, maybe you do have some experience in the kind of a stuff that you're doing, but quite often you're in a situation where you've never done this before and you're having to learn everything from scratch. Add into that it's a completely new physical environment. So you're coming into a new office. You might be coming into a new office when you've not been used to, when you've not. been used to coming into a workplace in a long, long time. You've then got all the kind of the new colleagues, the new personal connections that you've got to form, all these kind of bonds. It is so much to hit you at once. So that five of wands, I completely understand that for you when you're in that situation. Um, but it's like everything else, that five of wands. It might represent that the fires are kind of that things are misfiring a wee bit, but the next step is the six of wands, and that's where we kind of bring a bit of harmony back into that situation. Okay, so you can absolutely do it. You can keep going and you can get there. I suppose it's just about kind of working through that phase of the process, isn't it? Yeah, new connections with others making me apprehensive, feeling awkward and anxious. Yeah, right. Okay, okay. And we were just talking about the five of wands, but I suppose the same could be said of the five of cups. And how often do we say like that five of cups? And again, referring back to the Rider-Waite Smith, but that five of cups, we see him kind of focusing on the cups that have spilled and maybe not focusing so much on the two cups that are standing up. And then some of us will then say, "Oh, but you know, like that's fine. It's up to him. He needs to go through that process. Let him go through the process that he needs to go through. When he's ready to turn around and see those cups that are still standing, he will absolutely do that, but only when he's ready. He can't force it. Um, it's so like that, and that's what I'm talking about with like the five of wands, and also with your five of cups, Robin. To me, the fives represent these processes that we kind of just need to. It's things like grief, like when we go through grief, we can't speed that up. We can't force that. We can't force our way through it. It's something that we need to go through, and everybody goes through it in their own way and at their own pace. Um, so, but we all have that within us to be able to get through these things. So, okay, the Eight of Swords in this deck shows a woman with two demons behind her, holding her back. Ah, okay, interesting. That was you had that reversed. Okay. So maybe there is an external force in this case that is holding you back. Maybe that is. So I asked the question, what is it that's holding you back? Maybe it is something external. Dealers have spent ages on card two, folks. So I'm sorry if people are starting to lose interest. Let me just quickly catch up on the comments and I'll move on. So Kat is here, says hello all, just got in from work. We'll have to watch the beginning later. So we're only two cards in. So if you want, this is past and present. Beth is very kindly posting the position meanings for each position. So if you want to quickly throw down those cards and join in, then please feel free to, Kat, if you want to. Um, sure hope so. I'm doing well now. I feel like I'm taking charge of things more for sure. So you're already in the process of moving into that six, Karen. Um, wait, did you even have a five? Oh no, you were seven of pence and queen of wands, right? Right. I'm starting to get mixed up. Love what you said about the nine of pentacles. Slightly different to how I saw it, but love it. Good. I'm glad I was able to offer a different insight. That's why I love doing these things because I love hearing other people's insights on the cards that I've got. Um, I always learn from hearing what other people say. Uh, we can all help Chris by listing all the cards in our spread so that it doesn't struggle to remember them all. Thanks, Robin. Um, thank you very much. Lottie has to go, but this was great. Thanks for your interpretation of my cards, really helpful, and I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Thanks very much for being here, Lottie. It was lovely to see you. Um, Slow to text, that's fine. Right, card three, folks, is the obstacle. Okay, so card three is the obstacle. And it says the third card stands for an obstacle that needs to be dealt with and overcome in order to resolve the situation and proceed in a positive way. Like the present, this obstacle may be something external or an internal psychological state. It should not be seen as a problem, but as a challenge or a barrier between the present and the future. So the obstacle for me, oh, the Five of Wands. Have we not just been talking about this? Um, there we go. Look at that. So, is there a better obstacle card? So, I mean, to take it back to my second card, we talked about this Prince of Wands being this kind of a right. This is my time to just branch out a bit and use some of this energy that I've built up over the years. Um, Sometimes when you branch out and you use some of that energy, either it can rub people up the wrong way, or it just things can get a wee bit out of hand, you know. But I think that was the point, and that was what I said. As long as I'm coming from this stable place, this steady place that I've kind of worked hard to get into, then I should be able to deal with a wee bit of Five of Wands energy, I think. Um, so as much as I'm probably going to be a massive drama queen about it at the time and when I'm going through it, um, I'm sure I've got what it takes to work my way through it. I think I just need to remember I'm coming from this place, this Ten of Pentacles place. So I can do it. Um, okay, Donna says my circumstances at the moment are such that I'm very dependent on others. So this does prey on my mind, even though it can't be helped right now. Okay, so circumstances outside your control then. Okay, fair enough. So, I mean, and I kind of mentioned this when I was talking about the Five of Cups and the Five of Wands. Like, you know, we often say, like, oh, if he just turns round, he'll see blah, 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 you see there's two full cups still there. At the end of the day, you're you're in that place, you're in this process for a reason, and sometimes it's the right thing for you to be in that place, as much as on the surface or from the outside that might seem like a stereotypically negative place to be. Sometimes that is just the place where you need to be. So that Eight of Swords might be reversed because maybe that's just hammering home. Look, this is the place where you need to be right now. The reason that you're locked in that place and you're not moving on to that next place is because, you know, like you say, it can't be helped right now. Um, so maybe it is just offering you a wee bit of reassurance. And the fact that in that card that is like external, I don't know if you said it was two demons or something, but the fact that it is some kind of external bodies that are holding the person in place is again it's saying like this, it's not something that you can control. It's not a decision that you have made. Do you know what I mean? It's an external force that's come in and that's kind of a put you in this position. So we'll see what cards come up, particularly for the future card. Okay, so thank you very much, Beth. Debbie has got Page of Cups, Queen of Swords, and Page of Swords. Okay, so you've got all courts so far, Debbie. What's going on there? Do you think? Um, so Page of Cups, you've come from this place of oh God. So you've come from the Page of Cups to the Queen of Swords. That's quite a stark change, isn't it? Um, So that's the Page of Cups is full of wonder and awe and enthusiasm and surprise and just kind of a naivety and just innocence, I guess, general innocence. The Queen of Swords, who is like, you know, very polar opposite to that kind of a Page of Cups. Um, that's in a it almost feels like so I quite often see the queens as environments, It's an environment that's being created in order that you can advance through that element. So for the Queen of Swords, for the sword suit, the Queen could represent a person such as a teacher or an environment like a library or a classroom or something somewhere where you can kind of advance your, in this case, your sword, your mind, your intellect, your understanding. Um, so Page of Cups, you've come from this very innocent emotional space into this place where it's like all of a sudden you need to learn new stuff. And it's interesting that your obstacle is the Page of Swords, because that again, you're thinking, right, you're learning new things, you're taking in new stuff. You're kind of a learning to use your gifts in new ways and stuff. So this is it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting spread to see for you, Debbie. Um, I would expect to see this spread for someone like a student who's just left high school and is like starting university, you know, or someone who's maybe just left education and is going into the workplace, something like that. Someone who's completely changing their setting and they're having to really adjust and adapt how they interact with their environment. That is what that spread feels like to me. Um, so yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts on it, on what your thoughts on it are, and I'm interested to hear how to see how the spread progresses. Donna, King of Cups reversed, Eight of Swords reversed, and then the Two of Wands. Okay. So, Two of Wands. So we just talked about your first two cards, and then your Two of Wands, for me, that's a card about like I always say building your portal. Um, for me, the Two of Wands, it's about creating space for yourself. It's about putting yourself into the position where you can then walk through, building your portal so that you can then walk through it. Okay, so it's a card about planning, it's about discovering, it's about looking stuff up. So we quite often see someone who's like, um, in the traditional, you've got someone who's looking out, they've got a globe in their hands, they're looking out into the world. So it's like they're planning their journey ahead. Um, so maybe your challenge is like to appreciate that right now you're in a place where you're not walking through that portal, you're preparing yourself to do so. Um, so it might be quite difficult for you to find yourself in a place where, because for me, the aces and the twos are, they're not really, there's not much action happening yet in the aces and the twos. The ace is the pure potential energy. The two is the germination. It's the, like I say, it's the kind of it's the building up to it. It's only in the three. The three is linked to the Empress, and the Empress is what stands for physical creativity. It's only in the three that we actually put ourselves out there and do shit and use that energy. The two is preparation. So the challenge for you is maybe in recognizing that you know, this is a time to prepare. This isn't a time to get shit done. So John has got judgment. Let's see. Golden has the Six of Cups. Kendra's journey's here. Hi, Kendra. Robin, Queen of Wands, developing confidence and maturity and nurturing my energy and passions. Yeah. So if we kind of continue on with that theme of what we were talking about, if that five does represent you branching out into more kind of a social situations, then your challenge is stepping into those shoes of the Queen of Wands. like you say, developing your confidence and your maturity in those situations. Um, and I suppose just challenging yourself to letting your that kind of those warm aspects of your personality shine through and letting people in, letting people drift towards you and letting people in. Uh, Care Bear, Seven of Pence, Queen of Wands, and then the Devil reversed. It's a dog on a leash in a cat deck, right? Challenge is resistant destructive tendencies. Does RX mean reversed, by the way? So the challenge is resistant destructive tendencies. Eight of Wands, King of Swords. I get impatient to find like-minded people for my Three of Cups. The obstacle is my impatience, right? So Kathy at the Fool, and then the Five of Wands, and Temperance is your obstacle. Okay, interesting. So your obstacle, interestingly enough, is Temperance. So right now we're in a Five of Wands moment. So energy's flying about everywhere. You're all over the place. You're like a blue-arsed fly. Like we can't get you to sit still. Temperance is your obstacle. So those situations that actually require you to chill the F out, just sit down, or in the case of temperance, let your wings out and stand with one foot in the water and one foot on land. And, you know, those situations that require a wee bit more calm and reflection, they're your obstacle right now. That's your challenge. So look at where you are right now and ask yourself how comfortable would you feel if you had to just take a step back, take a bit of a chill pill, and just yeah, just reflect, just calmly reflect on everything that's happening. Because this is the thing, like when so sometimes, and I know that I do this, so I'm assuming that other people will resonate with it. So sometimes the reason that I get myself into these kind of a situations, these high energy situations, and I'm buzzing about and I just don't stop. There's good reason for that sometimes. Sometimes it's because I'm worried about, you know, what am I going to have to call myself out on if I do stop and actually assess. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. But sometimes the reason that we kind of keep going, we see these people who are constantly on the go. Like there must be a reason for that, you know. I know that if I'm constantly on the go, if I'm constantly buzzing from one thing to another, it's probably partially because there's a bit of me that's worried to stop and actually look at what I have been doing, and have to examine myself and examine whether I've been doing it well enough. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, maybe it's time for a new job, says Debbie, with your three court cards. This card has a pissed off looking cat sitting between two wands. I can see my challenge is to set myself free from something because of the dog on the leash, but it's still probably not about falling back into bad habits. Excuse me. It's still probably about not falling back into bad habits. Anxious to move forward, but I need to help. I need the help of others to do so, and I'm dependent on their schedule. Right, okay. Yeah, RX is reversed. Just thought that'd be yeah, you'll be right. I just hadn't seen it before. Jonathan's here. Hi, Jonathan. How you doing? So I'm stuck in the planning stage until further notice, says Donna. Okay, right. Let's move on to card four. So card four is the future card. This card indicates how the situation may evolve, while certain things will happen in a person's future over which they will have no power. This card represents a possibility or option for improvement. The querent can set this future as an objective to reach or avoid. So card 4 is the future. Oh, and I've got the Nine of Pentacles. I feel as though we're all pulling the same cards tonight, by the way. Can we just say? Like, we've definitely had lots of Nine of Pentacles and lots of Five of Wands. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just, there's just one other person that's been pulling them, but lots of nines and lots of fives for definite. I know there's a few of us. Um, so I just saw Debbie's card, but so my Nine of Pentacles, that feels like a really positive progression. It feels like I'm coming from a good place. Things are in flux, but in a good, challenging and constructive way. And I'm going to a good place. I've talked a lot about what the Nine of Pentacles means, so I don't really want to sound like a broken radio, but it's about working hard and getting yourself into a place where you can actually enjoy what you've worked hard for, you know? So love this for me. Debbie has managed to pull another court card, the King of Swords. So you've got 3 of the Swords courts, Debbie. Um, Very interesting indeed, let me just say. So, but like, it's a nice progression though. So you're going from you're currently in the position, you're currently in the process of setting up this environment. You're getting this place for yourself where you can progress. You know your the mental aspects, the mind, the intellect, your understanding, whatever the sword might mean for you. It might even be about problem solving. Sometimes the swords come up when there's kind of a challenging aspects of our life and we need to work through them. So it could be about creating an environment where you can get through some of the challenges that life has thrown at you. And the challenges in your page, you're learning, but your future, the place that you're heading to is the King of Swords. So it's like you're going from the page to the king, from the initiate to the master. So that feels really good. That feels like a positive direction that you're moving in. And for Donna, card 4 was the Queen of Pentacles. Right. So we're loving that. We love that for you because the Queen of Pentacles, it's like the mama bear card. It's a safe space. It is literally a space where you can feel safe and secure and comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Um, and given that it's a queen that's coming up, maybe it's you that's creating that safe space for yourself. You are that safe space, that safe environment. Um, or maybe that represents someone who you kind of about you've said about your other cards. Like right now, it feels like you're quite dependent on assistance from other people. The queen may well represent someone who's going to come in and who's going to help you in the way that you need helped. So it'll be interesting, but no matter whether that represents someone else or you or just a general, but the point is that that energy does seem to be coming in for you, where you will feel more enabled, and you will feel more comfortable about you know about where you are, I guess. Like, contrast that Eight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Look at the two individuals and think, right, how do these people feel about their environments? So your Eight of Swords was reversed, wasn't it? But that was your present, right? If that represents how you're currently feeling about your environment, and then contrast that to the Queen of Pentacles, that normally shows someone who's in a luxurious, um, you know, really comfortable environment, who's kind of at one with their environment. It's like Mother Nature themselves. Um, so it does feel like a really kind of a um, positive direction that it's showing you. Jonathan needs to come back and do this spread. Um, John has the Ace of Swords. Okay. Okay, so the World and then the Ten of Cups. Judgment, your challenge. Judgment for me is often about drawing a line in the sand and moving on, um, from one place to the other. And then the Ace of Swords, a whole new beginning, maybe a new start, or just a new perspective, a new kind of a way of understanding. Got some water here. This is just water. I know it's in a wine glass, but it's the biggest glass that I had. um, let's see. The future is the Seven of Pentacles. Answer that pesky obstacle question. Be patient while I work at it. Life will unfold. Um, Robin had another thought about your Five of Cups. Did you tell us what your future card was, Robin? If you have, I've skipped over it. In meeting folks, I obsess more on their seeing my negatives than focusing on my better qualities. So being self-conscious, and do you think that, like, do you think that's maybe mirroring how you look at yourself? Do you think that you focus more on your negative qualities than your positive ones, Robin? And therefore you're projecting that onto other folks? You're saying, well, I see myself in that way, so how could they possibly miss it? How could they possibly miss the fact that, I don't know, that I drink my coffee in this weird way, or that I riffle shuffle my cards to fuck, or I don't know, I'm just coming up with stupid examples, but sometimes I think um, when we worry a lot about other people seeing our negative qualities, it's reflective of the fact that that's how we look at ourselves. Um, the Queen of Pentacles is completely dressed in armor. Wow. Okay. But does she look fucking good? There's the question. And there's the important question. She might be dressed in armor, but I bet she looks good. Um, Nine of Wands, King of Cups. Okay, so Nine of Wands, working hard. King of Cups, Ten of Coins, and then the Three of Wands. Interesting because we have all these high up cards. We had the nine, we've got the 10, the king, right top of the courts. And then for the future card, it's like we've come down to the three. So it almost feels like a bit of a release. The start of this right now feels quite intense. It feels like you've been through a lot and things are quite intense right now. And don't get me wrong, like the King of Cups and the Ten of Coins are really positive cards, but things just feel like they're, very much kind of a woven into the past and where you've come from. Whereas the Three of Wands almost feels like, as much as I know the Three of Wands doesn't normally mean like a new beginning, but it's like it feels like it's a bit of a refresher. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's taking you back, and uh, you're able to kind of just enjoy being in the moment without having to worry about all that shit. Do you know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I think it's just interesting how the actual numbers have progressed there. I was hearing buzz buzz. I wonder. Mm. Um, oh, sorry, folks. I've just noticed the time. It's 11:20. I didn't realise it was so late. Um, a great shadow read, Robin. Got the Nine of Pentacles for card 4-2. So the Fool into your Five of Wands, at your Temperance, and then Nine of Pentacles, the same as me. So we love we love that for us, don't we? The Nine of Pentacles feels quite a good place to be going to, especially given the context that you've put around yours. It's this new job that you're in. You're kind of getting used to it. You're getting yourself into that place where things are starting to balance out. Um, and what's coming up for us is that kind of we've worked hard and we can actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. Our labor. The world, I mean, perfect. That's the best place to be headed to. Um, very pleased with the Queen of Pentacles. I hope it means regaining my physical health. I hope so too, Donna. Um, that's a very colourful deck, by the way. Is David Bowie in the cards or is it inspired by him? Either way, it's pretty cool. So it's David DeAngelis that did the art for this, and it was David DeAngelis who did a lot of the kind of a concept art for um like David Bowie's Starman. Um David Bowie is in the deck. I'm sure like we see him in the Magician card. And maybe in other cards as well, I can't remember. But yeah, it's very colourful, it's very busy, but it's I mean, that's not always necessarily a bad thing. I think if you're trying to pick up on every single intricate thing, then you'll struggle. But I'm a wee bit like I can kind of a take and leave things. I can look at a card and I don't necessarily need to pick up on everything. I can just look and see what jumps out at me. Um, so I'm enjoying it. Just lurking now, fixing dinner, no pulling cards. We'll finish on my own later. No worries, Karen. So, King of Swords, becoming better at mastering communication with others. Yeah, yeah, potentially, Robin. Just make sure you don't overthink yourself into a place where you're becoming, you're cutting people off, because the King of Swords can sometimes represent, being a bit cold and remote. So, with everything you were saying about kind of your Five of Cups and stuff, just make sure that you don't think yourself into kind of I need to kind of like withdraw back into my shell and not come back out. Um, but also I love how you see it, um, mastering that communication. Um, I think if it's channeled in the right way, then definitely, yeah. Queen is definitely a super empowered person compared to the Eight of Swords, yeah. Like that Five of Cups. You probably already said it, but what deck are you using, Chris? It's the Starman Tarot, Jonathan. The Starman Tarot by David DeAngelis, inspired by the artworks that he created for David Bowie. There we go. And next Thursday, I'm going to be live with Simon, and we are doing Throwback Thursday on this deck. See, everyone looks good in armor. It's very flattering. uh, so spot on. I'm glad you're enjoying your reading. Paperman Nancy from a Paperman is here. Hi, Nancy. Oh, right, yeah. Star and Flurry Tarot. That was the jumping down to the Three of Wands. Right, okay. Cool. Right, the last card then, card 5, is the life lesson. Okay, so card 5 is the life lesson. And this card indicates what you can learn from your experience. It's a reminder of how you can develop personally and of the lessons that can be taken from what has happened. A life lesson can help foster emotional, spiritual, and intellectual growth. Um, so for me, that is the Lovers card. So let me give you a good look at our Lovers card. So this is my life lesson is the Lovers. So my lesson that I need to learn in all this is sometimes it's okay to go a wee bit off piste. Sometimes it's okay to follow your desires. You do not always have to follow the path that society or, you know, the people around you or your parents or whoever it is. You don't always have to follow the path that's been set out for you. You can create your own path. And sometimes that's about trailblazing. Okay. Um, so my four cards here are bookended by very kind of a high pentacles cards, very sensible, corporate, financial, um, earth stable cards, right? And in the middle here, we've got a bit of excitement. We've got some fire injected into the reading. Now, that might not have necessarily have been the boring, sensible decision to go off and do this, but without going through this, I wouldn't have got to this place where I can actually enjoy everything that I've worked for. So sometimes that's what we need to appreciate, that sometimes the right thing to do is to go with our heart rather than our head. Sometimes the right thing to do is to be a wee bit selfish. Sometimes the right thing to do is to be, you know, to make the decision that other people might tell you is stupid or is unorthodox, but that you know kind of a deep within yourself that it resonates with you and that it's right. So that's my lover's card. Um, no more swords or courts. The Nine of Pentacles. That Nine of Pentacles, by the way, that's the theme of the evening, isn't it? Enjoy the fruits of your labour. Let's see. So 5 for Donna is the Three of Wands. Okay. So you had your Two of Wands. It was your obstacle. There is that preparation stage, but that Three of Wands is in there as well. Okay. So all that kind of that building up, that building your portal, that preparation, that is going towards something. Um, and even when we don't really realize what it is that we're working towards, sometimes we need to just have a wee bit of faith that the effort that we're putting in isn't in vain and that it is contributing towards something. And sometimes that's not what we expect, right? So I spent, for me, right, this is a personal anecdote. Um, I spent a good 5, 6 years working towards a particular position within my career. And about a year ago, or less than a year ago, reasonably recently, I basically get knocked off that pedestal. Um, uh, it wasn't going to happen for me, um, which was devastating at the time, to be honest with you. And it felt as though that's a good 6 years of work down the drain, for nothing. But it wasn't, because, well, for one, just personal development talking, I've developed myself. For me as a person, I've developed a lot just in doing that work. But also, so the work that I've been putting in to try and get to that place, as much as it's maybe not going to get me there are other places that can take me. Um, so yeah, I think we're quite harsh on ourselves sometimes, and we kind of we have a plan set out for how things are meant to look, and we can be quite devastated when things don't turn out that way. But I think we kind of sometimes need to, as much as she can be a bitch, sometimes trust the universe and trust that that things can happen for a reason. Or if you don't like that idea, then trust that we can adapt. We are, what's the word? Adaptive, adaptive, adaptable, adaptable. That's the word, adaptable. We can adapt to whatever life throws at us. Um, and the stuff that we meet along the way that is life experiences that we can use to our advantage. No life experience is a wasted one, I guess. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox and stop going on. Okay, so Ace of Swords, and then the lesson is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so Five of Pentacles, right? I often see that as it's where we question where we put value. So what things in our life we assign value to and how we assign value to things. So quite often we see the kind of the people who are out in the street who are not doing very well. Um, so sometimes that and remembering that that's come from a place of the four, it's come from the Four of Pentacles, who's someone who's kind of a latching on to their kind of a material possessions, and all of a sudden we find ourselves out in the cold. Um, so there's that kind of to me, that the lesson in that is, you know, those shiny things that you were putting value in before, in the five, we kind of come to realize that that stuff isn't as important as what we thought it was. Um, so it's not for me to sit here and tell you what's important in life. Everyone, that's going to be a different experience for everyone. But I feel as though with the Five of Pentacles, that's where we start kind of reassessing what are the things that matter to us. And it's where we start to kind of really dig deep and properly look at that question and discover what what matters to us in life. So that's quite a deep life lesson card that you've got there, John. For Robin, you've got the Queen of Cups. I don't always have to be emotionally guarded. Keeping that lid on my cup. Yeah, I think the lesson is you can be that Queen of Cups, that emotional environment. You know, you do absolutely have that capacity to connect with other people, and you can do that whether it's online, like on here, or whether it's in person. I think it's just about reminding yourself that you do have that ability. Um, wasn't your final card last time also the Lovers, Chris? I remember because mine's was as well. I can't remember. It was the Cersei tarot I was using, wasn't it? I don't actually remember, but well remembered if it was. Donna. Star and Flurry Tarot. So your Three of Wands then goes to the Five of Cups. Take a breath and remember you have two full cups still, and they are very nearby. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. My work here is done, says Beth. I've got to run. See you all later. Oh, thanks very much, Beth. I really appreciate everything you've done. Um, Life lesson, Knight of Pentacles, the Fool, Five of Wands, Temperance, the Nine of Pence, and then the Knight. So learning to go at my own pace. Rome wasn't built in a day and all that. Yep, absolutely. Love it. Um, Sorry that happened, Chris, but you showed your adaptability and went with your divine detour. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Um, Golden Devil, Nine of Pence, Six of Cups, the World, and the Page of Cups. So we we often look at like we look at the tarot. It's a very structured tool, isn't it? And we're always looking and thinking, right? It's the journey from the Fool through to the World, or from the Ace to the Ten, or from the Page to the King. And I think we do that in life as well, don't we? From child to adult, from novice to expert. Like we we're constantly like I feel as though we're constantly putting ourselves on a ladder and trying to climb it. Sometimes our job is actually to realize that you need to have fun. Sometimes it's not about climbing a ladder. Sometimes it's just about like kind of I don't know, having a wee dance down at the bottom of the ladder, about enjoying life and enjoying having that kind of a innocence of a child sometimes. Do you know what I mean? We don't always all have to be responsible adults at all times. Sometimes we want to go out, maybe have a wee drink, maybe get off our tits a wee bit, and just enjoy life for the sake of enjoying it. And that's that. If that's our particular poison, if that's how we choose to enjoy life, then that's okay. Um, Robin says, thank you for your patience with us and attention to detail. It's always so insightful and so much fun. No, you're so welcome, Robin. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate everyone being here. I've really enjoyed myself tonight. I know that we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes now, so I've kept you all long enough, I think. I do really appreciate it, everyone. Um, Karen is saying, just had to share before saying goodnight. I just found in the kitchen drawer a tarot sticker of Doc Brown, Back to the Future, as the magician. Thanks so much. You're a kind and patient soul. Oh, thank you. Listen, take care, everyone. I hope no matter what you're doing over this weekend, I hope you enjoy it. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. Bye, everyone.